So you're addicted to the airbrush and want to learn how to shade with it because every time you shade with the airbrush, it looks blurry and muddy. Well, some artists will tell you not to use the airbrush and only use it for occasional things here and there. Well, I got a little tip for you on how to use the airbrush properly for shading. Now, I already did a tutorial in this sort of style, but that was like in a short. I think it's still on my channel. It's a YouTube Shorts. It's also like a TikTok I did, but I'm gonna do it, a little bit slower, and I'm gonna go through the ropes with no editing whatsoever. So that was my phone. I forgot to put it silent. Anyways, I always do that. Let's start. I already have a drawing of Lara Croft that I just did. Here's the liner thing, and in here is the sketch. Look at that. There it is. So what I do for this little technique, everybody has their own different ways of doing it. This is how I do it. I'm gonna grab like a dark color. It doesn't have to be, well, black kind of works, but I only use black when it's like a quick drawing that I want to do it like 10 minutes. Um, but shadows normally do have color, depending on light source and all that stuff. I'm gonna use like a really dark blue in this case. There you go. I just paint the entire thing, and then I lower the opacity to like 50%, something like that. And this is where the fun begins, right? So my eraser has the airbrush setting on the airbrush thing. That's because instead of like drawing where the shadows are, what I'm gonna do is basically draw where the light source is, essentially. And this is like an easy technique to get used to shading and all that stuff. So what I do is I grab the lasso tool. You need the lasso tool for this. And this technique can take you as much as like 10 minutes or maybe an hour. It depends on how detailed you want it to be. I'm not gonna make it too detailed, right? And I just tap. What I do is I just tap my eraser as I go along. Yeah, that's how we do it. I just tap my eraser as I move along. It gives out a nice gradient to it. This is normally how I shade nowadays. I used to essentially just grab my normal brush and do all the shadows, as I go along. Now I just sort of do this. I just grab it here. And with the airbrush, I just kind of tap it. I tap it in. And again, this doesn't really take long. It's actually, at least to me, it's a lot faster than any other method. Everybody has their own method on how to use the airbrush. Some people will tell you to use different brushes for shading and all that, which is fine. I used to do that. I used to use a watercolor brush for shading. And I thought that was gonna be like my art style for the time being. And to be fair, it kind of was. A lot of my drawings had like this watercolor texture. And I just use mostly the airbrush. I used to abuse the heck out of the airbrush. Thanks to Akira Toriyama's more digital artwork. You know, I forgot to put my phone in silence. I'm not even gonna edit this out or anything. I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah. You just grab the lasso tool and just kind of mark where the light kind of is. And then you tap it where the light source is and a little bit to the more dark part. Some people will, like, you know, just pass the brush along instead, but I like, you know, tapping it. It gives like a natural, more natural gradient, or, you know, in a way a gradient that you do by hand. That's another thing. Shading with gradients actually elevates how good your drawing can look. It could be as goofy as like a Dubus Goofus type drawing, but if you have gradients on it, it actually starts looking really nice. As you can see, it's already looking really nice. Since I have like a orangey, fiery yellow light source, I'm gonna actually do something about that after I'm done doing this. But as you can see, it's already looking nice. It's already looking good. And again, with this technique, it could take you, depending on how much detail you want to add, it could take you as much as an hour, or as much as, you know, maybe 20 minutes. Ever since I've learned this technique watching comic book artists, I kind of like, you know, use this as my main way of coloring. Go. Yeah, you can hear the crickets in the ambience. I don't know. I'm not sure if I should put music with this one, to be honest. I normally put music in my drawing videos. A lot of Sonic music. Not only because it's one of my favorite video game OSTs, but also because Sega doesn't go crazy if you put it. And that's good, because Sega music normally is, you know, really damn dope. That goes for Persona, and I think even the Yakuza series is also pretty nice, I won't lie.
I have added a component to your dossier.
I can't wait to have enough followers to stream, because that's actually something I want to do. I prefer the more chill vibe that is of streaming, rather than, you know, making videos like these. I mean, I could start with YouTube, because, you know, YouTube actually allows that. Actually, let me put a little more detail here. YouTube actually kind of allows that, but, you know, right? Sure, that works. That works? Yeah, that works. Okay, so I'm practically done. As you can see, that was really quick. But since I have a orange light source, what I'm gonna do here is that I'm gonna do another layer. Whoop, I zoomed in there. Fuck. Anyways, I'm gonna grab another light source. I'm gonna grab my typical brush, and I'm gonna go for an airbrush on this one as well. As you can see, here's the airbrush. Grab the lasso tool again, and where the light is hitting, I just kind of go over the airbrush, well, the lasso tool right there, And with the airbrush, I select the color of the source, which is, kind of like a orangey jello thing. And again, I just kind of tap in. Just tap.
I have added a component to your dossier.
Yes, you have, Vega. Yes, you have. See, that automatically gives the drawing some level of depth. That's already looking great. As you can see, this is just the airbrush. Paired with the lasso tool, it automatically elevates how the drawing goes. Because here's the thing with the airbrush, right? What I used to do with the airbrush when I was basically a wee babby doing digital art is that I would change sizes on the airbrush, and this allowed me to do more sharper edges for like shadows and all that, but it still looked weird. Still a little bit wonky. I mean, some drawings look nice, but a lot of the times it'll just look very blurry and muddy, and you don't want that. This is already looking really nice, really nice. By the way, I don't just do art in this channel, I also like to play video games. In Halloween, I was supposed to do a bunch of videos, but since I got sick, I just didn't. I was supposed to play Lollipop Chainsaw on Halloween. As shitty as that game is sometimes, it's just really funny. So, yeah, that automatically makes it look even better. So there's one more thing. There's one more little detail. Now that we're, giving the light a little bit more color and all that, there's some rim lighting we need to do. That rim lighting makes the drawing look a little bit more 3D. Sometimes the rim lighting can be harsh in color, sometimes it's like really soft. What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna grab blue and I'm gonna make it really light. I'm gonna just tap it in just like the rest. You know what? I think I'm not gonna put music on this video. I'm just gonna let the crickets do their thing. Not that I can do much. Don't have a studio or anything, so I can't make it silent. Not like I have top equipment to like shut them up or anything like that in the recording, so yeah. That's what happens when you're poor. Speaking of being poor, I do have a shop where I sell a bunch of stuff. I don't know how to do plugins, so just saying, look at the description. I have stuff there that you might like. I draw dinosaurs and put them in a shop for you to, buy. Yeah, every now and then zoom out to look at your picture, because when you zoom in, it'll look weird. It'll always do that, you know.
I have added a component to your dossier.
Thank you, Pekka. Yeah, it'll always look weird when you like zoom in too much. Especially when you do like more realistic paintings, you'll always have like that ugly face of the painting. But when it comes to like digital art and all that, especially if you like post them online, just so you know, screens are pretty damn small. People aren't gonna normally zoom in to look at every aspect of your drawing unless that's what you wanna do, you know. If the whole point of the drawing is to clutter it with detail, which I've seen it happen, especially on more Japanese oriented artwork, like so cluttered in a lot of detail, then yeah, I guess you can worry about it. So yeah, so now yeah, look at that. Sorry, looking kind of nice. Now there is one more thing left I wanna do before I end this up, and that is the gun over here. It's supposed to be semi what she holds in the games, but I do admit me and guns don't get along. Not that I hate guns, it's just that I literally cannot draw them all that well or all that right. I kind of need to learn that. Like, I like rounded shapes and more fantastical stuff like that, so getting used to drawing more realistic weapons like that, kind of difficult. Which is weird. Sci-fi guns are normally based on real guns, and I can draw them just fine, but when it comes to like more realistic guns, I don't know, maybe it's pressure. The pressure to get them right. Oh yeah, and her belt buckle, whoop. Don't look at those. Go right there, just tap it in. Here you go. I'm practically done with this drawing. As we zoom out, you can see, look at that. It's already looking great. Now, one more thing, one more little detail I want to add. I want to increase the size of my airbrush. I'm gonna go for a little bit of yellow and just... Huh, weird. Wait a minute. It's not painting. Oh no, don't tell me it... Wait a minute. What? Oh, it's fine. Oh my god. It's weird how it's not painting. What if I do this? Yeah, it works like that. Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna fix this real quick. Grab the. Wait a minute. Experiencing some mistakes here because for some reason it won't paint my. That's so weird. Won't paint my next layer. Okay. Yeah, weird shit is going on here, but it's fine. I have an idea. Do that. Blur. There we go. I'm gonna put like a.
Component to your dossier.
Thank you, Vega. I'm gonna put this like a little bit of a backdrop. I'm gonna add a little bit of gradient just cause. And there we go. That's it. That's all it is to it. Don't forget to sub and like and do the thing. Check the description. Bye.